Okay, it's like 1:30 and I have to hurry up making this video because if I make a video that's over 12 minutes long on this phone, the next video tends to cut off. So I end up making one or two parts. And it's like, I don't like making videos in different segments if I can help it. But I was thinking about the video that I made earlier, and it got me thinking about more issues. And I think, I'm titling this video Weight Loss and Gossip. Now, I don't know if anyone remembers me when I first rolled into this town back in 2001, but I was probably around this weight, if not a little bit thinner back then, And, throughout the years, I've kind of gained weight and lost weight and but always tried to not go over a certain weight amount, because I'm not one of those people who like being overweight. I don't like it, and I think a lot of people are not happy with being overweight. I think a lot of people struggle with it. They don't like it. But I noticed that when you lose weight, it generates a lot of gossip, okay? Because like I said, most weak people don't have the motivation or the drive to do anything positive for themselves unless, of course, they have some sort of incentive like impressing somebody else, maybe winning the heart of somebody else or whatever. But I'm not one of those people. I have struggled with my weight since I was probably, my mom went to the hospital when I was like, I don't know, I think back in 1981 or 82, somewhere around there. And when she went in the hospital, I remember I just went through major stress eating. Like I would eat candy bars and more candy bars and more candy bars without control, without any self-control, and I just remember putting on weight, and then I would learn ways of getting it off, and I would bounce back and forth. As a teenager, there were times where I was pretty lean, and then there were times I was pretty chubby wubby. When I got into my 20s, I would bounce around a lot. I'd lose a lot, gain a lot, bounce around, and this was very common with me, but I always did my best that once I got to a certain point, that stuff has to go, because I'm not one of those people who just accepts it. I don't like being that way. I don't, and I think a lot of people don't. And I'm not bashing people who are overweight in any way, shape, or form, because I will tell you, it is very easy to get that way. And it's sad because there's so many things in the food now that are making people the way that they are, and that includes prescription drugs and whatever. And a lot of times people's outrageous appetites are beyond their control. It just is, okay? Because they have certain bacteria that are making them crave that food beyond their control. So I don't blame people for being overweight, okay? But once you understand the science of it and you continue to live that way, then that's up to you, okay? But for me, no. But I do know that every time, when I was growing up, and also even when I was an adult, I'd be at work and I would not be interested in certain things, and people would want me to eat candy. They would want to bring in sweets in the very beginning of the morning because they didn't want you losing weight. Why? Because it makes them feel bad. The thing is that you have to put yourself first, okay? And weight loss or any sort of self-improvement shouldn't be a subject of gossip. It's what everybody wants to do, but the majority of people lack the self-will to do it. And a lot of it has to do with peer pressure. A lot of times your friends don't want you to improve yourself, because the minute you do, they're gossiping about you. And there's nothing to gossip about. Okay, there's nothing good about or fun about not wanting to go swimming when you really want to go swimming, but you can't go swimming because you feel self-conscious. You feel self-conscious because you don't feel good about your thighs rubbing together in public. That's not that's not wrong to feel that way. It's just because you don't like that. Nobody does, okay? And so it's just common sense to do something about it. So I've noticed that people like to gossip. I don't look any different, really, than I did when I first rolled into this town a few years ago, 2001. I look pretty much the same. I look pretty much the same as I did in high school. The only difference is that I do things with my hair, but I look pretty much the same. And of course, you age. Some people have wrinkles. Some people have little crow's feet. Some people, they have more of a chiseled feature now that they're older or whatever. But the fact is, I look the same. My, daily regimen of taking care of myself is pretty much the same. I have improved in some ways. And then sometimes, people kind of get lax, but you pick up again, And so when I think about people gossiping about people who improve themselves, once again, you're dealing with jealousy over and over again. And I will tell you, there was a few morbidly obese women who attacked me in this program, in the early part of this program. I'm not going to mention names because I've mentioned them before in some of my earlier videos, okay? And it's not but when people start gossiping and pointing the finger, you need to consider and what do you call it? Consider the source, where it's coming from. When people are morbidly obese and they're talking and gossiping about somebody who cares about it, and it's not necessarily caring about just about your appearance, it's about feeling good about yourself overall. I will tell you, what's it like to sit on, when I was younger, I remember being overweight and walking home on a hot summer day with your thighs rubbing together, and you got a rash on your thighs because you're fat. No fun. It's not fun. I don't like that. And I shouldn't even have to justify it, but it's a no-brainer, okay? But for somebody who's extremely jealous, oh, that's just stuff to talk about. You need to talk about that all the time. You need to spread gossip about it. And not only is she losing weight, she's doing this, this, and this, and this, because it makes you feel better, okay? I'm tired of being the subject of trying to pick up people's poor and pathetic self-esteem. It's not my problem, okay? The fact is that, and it's really sad, but morbid obesity, or obesity in general, has become normalized, and it's sad, okay, because it's an epidemic that's gotten out of control. I remember growing up, there was a few overweight kids, okay? Now, just about everybody's overweight, okay? And now, if you're not one of them, then you're the one who's getting gossiped about. Many years ago, it was the exact opposite. If they saw somebody overweight coming down the street, they were talking about you. Now it's like, well, who does she think she is? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I won't make any apologies for who I am. That's bullshit, and you know it. Okay? I have never liked being overweight. I don't like anything overweight. I don't. Okay? I'm not saying I don't like overweight people, because I sympathize with them. Okay? But I don't like, not being able to buy clothes off the rack, because that's what I like to do. I like clothes, period. And I like buying them, and I don't like having a bunch of fuss when I buy them. It's logical. You don't like those things, then do something about it. Duh. I don't have to sit here and have a guy waiting for me, or I'm not trying to get anybody's attention. I don't like my thighs rubbing together. Period. It's a no-brainer. Okay? You like clothes? You want to look good in your clothes? Of course you're going to. You want to look good in your clothes because you want to get a guy. No, I like looking at my clothes because I like clothes. Okay? I've seen certain clothes that are made, and then they make it for women who are a little bit overweight, or what do you call it, like plus sizes, and it doesn't look the same. Okay? Especially like pleated type clothes, it doesn't look the same. Okay? And the sad part is, why do you have to justify what you're supposed to do in the first place? The reason why you have to is because we're dealing with backward people. That's why. People who've accepted and normalized obesity. They accept it as normal. That's normal. It's not normal. Okay? And it's sad. And I know there's a lot of people who struggle with it, and that's not trying to hurt people's feelings. And you know what? I sympathize with people who are overweight. I totally do. It's a struggle. It really is, okay? On so many levels. It is. Okay, and that doesn't mean I'm saying I'm better than them. I'm saying that, in my experience, I've dealt with people who've attacked me. And most of the people who've attacked me were morbidly obese women. And the reason why they're saying it, we all know why they're saying it. Because they don't like themselves. Not my problem. That is not my problem. Okay? People don't like being overweight for many reasons. It has nothing to do with attracting the opposite sex. It's uncomfortable to be overweight. You like sitting down and things collapsing underneath you? Is that what you like? Nobody does. Okay, that's never happened to me, but I've seen it happen to other people. So why is it, the only reason and the only justification for people attacking somebody who cares about their weight is jealousy. Let's not be fooled, people. It is not normal to be overweight. It's sad that people accept that, but it's not, okay? In the last 20 years, I was watching, you can watch some TV shows, okay? Now they add a lot of overweight cast members, okay? And there's always been overweight people in the world, but not to the extent of what there is now. You know? Like, I look at some of these old TV shows, and most of the characters on the show are lean. Now, because it's become so common, there's a lot of characters, they probably cast that role for an obese person because they're making it normal. It's like becoming common. I'm sorry, I don't believe being overweight is healthy. It's not. I know that there's people who want to justify it and act like, oh, you can be healthy and overweight, whatever. If that's what you want to do, you do it. Okay? But this woman, me, doesn't believe that that's good for me, so I choose to. Okay? Because I want to. It's got nothing to do with anything else. It's about taking care of yourself and your self-love, and that's how it is. Okay? And no, I don't like my thighs rubbing together. Okay? So, anyway, I'm wrapping up this video. Anytime you hear somebody gossiping about another person, especially when it's obvious, okay, you know that's envy coming from that person, you know, and that's all it is, plain and simple. You're not fooling me. Don't think for 1 minute I'm going to be dumb enough to fall for, oh, I feel bad because I take care of myself. Fuck that. You know, that's absurd and you know it, okay? Don't try to pull that over on me. Wrapping up this video. Be back with another video later. Maybe. Have a great day.